This is Antara from Afternoon Come, and today we'll be setting up my bullet journal for January of 2025. So here I'm doing a small flip through of my setup pages. If you're interested in seeing how I made these, you can watch the video over here. My journal is based on a storybook theme, and I will be gamifying this according to points. I've also made a goals page after the setup, and I'll be writing my goals and then assigning them points. So I would divide the goals in different houses and also assign some levels and rewards for the sake of fun. The next page would be a chapter list, and we will have 12 chapters according to the 12 months of the year. And you can see how I fill this up as the year goes along. If you didn't know, the main character of my journal is a cat named Catty, and we'll follow her along the journey of magic and mischief. So let's get started with our January chapter 1. Catty's discovery of the Pervert's School of Magic. Catty Potter was unlike any ordinary cat in Mrs. Figsnap's quaint little cottage. She was a ginger tabby with fur as fluffy as a cotton cloud and eyes that glistened with mischief, forever catching the sun's playful gleam. Though Catty spent her days knocking pens off tables, chasing her tail until she spun herself silly, and pretending she was a fearsome lion prowling through the wilds, which was really just Mrs. Figsnap's overgrown garden. She always felt there was something different about her. And indeed, there was. One drizzly Tuesday afternoon, Catty lounged on the windowsill, her tail twitching idly as she watched raindrops race down the glass. Mrs. Figsnap sat in her usual chair, knitting a lopsided sweater that would inevitably end up as Catty's favorite blanket. Just as Catty began to drift off to sleep, a sharp rap on the front door jolted her awake. She jumped, her fur puffing up like she had just been struck by lightning. Mrs. Figsnap, startled, shuffled over to the door, muttering, "Who on earth could that be in this weather?" The door creaked open, letting in a gust of wind that carried with it the faint scent of wet moss and something more peculiar, the tang of sardines. On the doorstep stood a tall, cloaked figure whose emerald eyes glowed like twin fireflies. Beneath the hood, the figure was peculiar indeed. Paws, not hands, protruded from the long sleeves, and as the stranger stepped inside, Catty could see the glint of sharp, curved claws. "Madam, I seek the one called Catty Potter," said the stranger in a voice that was simultaneously soothing and powerful, like a lullaby sung by a lion. Mrs. Figsnap's brows furrowed. "Catty? You mean my cat?" She looked over at Catty, who now sat up, eyes wide, trying to process why this mysterious sardine-scented figure would be here for her. "Yes," purred the cloaked figure, who answered with amusement. He reached into the folds of his cloak and drew out a collar, a dazzling band of gold engraved with a single word: magic. It shimmered as if spun from stardust and dreams. "But who are you? I'm not giving you my cat," said Mrs. Figsnap, fear etched in those eyes. She loved Catty. "I am Magnus Whiskerwind," he declared, and like on cue, catching the light from the room, his midnight blue robes shimmered like the night sky. "I am the gatekeeper of the old Purr roads, ancient pathways connecting the world of ordinarily felines to the magical realms, and it's time for Catty to join us." Mrs. Figsnap looked at Catty, who looked surprised, but stepped forward to the stranger at the door. Catty's assured walk made Mrs. Figsnap sigh in relief. Catty nodded at her and stepped outside to listen what the absurdly tall and imposing feline figure had to say. "This collar," he continued, stepping closer, "holds the key to your true destiny, Catty Potter. You are not merely a house cat, but the chosen cat of Parvat's School of Magic." Before Catty could swipe at the absurdity of this claim or let out her trademark, "Are you kidding me? Meow," the stranger placed the collar gently around her neck. The instant the clasp clicked shut, a sensation unlike anything Catty had felt coursed through her. It was as though every part of her fur stood on end, humming with energy. The night around her blurred. The scent of catnip and parchment filled the air, and Catty felt herself being whisked away as if she were chasing an invisible thread through the air. The world around her spun, colors blending into a whirlwind until, with a soft thump, Catty landed on a polished stone floor. She blinked, shaking her head to clear the dizziness, and stared in awe at her new surroundings. Before her rose the grand halls of Parvats. High archways loomed, carved with intricate patterns of paw prints and tails. Floating chandeliers made of enchanted feathers and balls of yarn swayed gently above, casting golden light across the bustling scene. Cats of every breed and color flitted around, some levitating tiny catnip mice with the flick of a whisker, and others chatting excitedly as they pranced through the corridors. An authoritative white cat in a wizard's hat meowed. "First years to the Grand Hall, don't dawdle now," she gestured with a velvet-covered paw. Catty's heart pounded with both excitement and trepidation. She was in a world she had never known existed, surrounded by feline wizards and magical wonders beyond her imagination. And somehow, deep down, she felt she was exactly where she was meant to be. So this was chapter 1 of our storybook about Parvat's School of Magic and Mischief, with Catty Potter as our main character. Let me know how you found the story and what you have to say about the pages for January. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see how the story unfolds. Do watch more videos from us. Thanks for watching. Bye.